Hi there, Ian from Galleon Marine here, doing a quick video on mid-size portable Yamahas on how to do your initial operation. We would have covered this all when you picked up the motor, but this is just a refresher course for you. Okay, these are all 4-strokes, so they're PDI'd when we give them to you, so they're ready to go. So these engines have an external fuel tank, so to run the engine you're going to plug in your fuel here, squeeze the primer bulb to make sure that there's fuel running to the engine, make sure your safety lanyard is hooked up, and then you turn the throttle to a start engine indicator, little orange line here matching up with the dimple. Okay, so from there we pull out our choke, we make sure the shifter is in neutral, and we pull the rope firmly and the engine is running. Depending on temperature, you can usually press the choke in within the first 4 or 5 seconds. If it's a really cold, frosty morning, you may have to leave it out a little longer. Once the engine's idling smoothly, slow the throttle down and plunk into gear. Forward, neutral, reverse. Always hesitate for a second in neutral before you proceed into reverse. To shut the engine off then, we can either press and hold the button, or I can pull out the safety lanyard. You've got a throttle friction here to snug up the throttle a little bit. You've got a steering friction here, so you can snug up the steering. And your tilt release is this little paddle right underneath. So one button does it all. Push the button, tilt up the engine, it automatically stays in place. When it's time to put the motor back down, we just flick that back up, come up a little bit, and down she goes. Okay, this is a freshwater flush attachment. So if you're using the engine in salt or brackish water, in a perfect world, when you're done, you want to flush the engine to get rid of the salt water. Do not run the engine with a garden hose on here. It is simply for the purpose of flushing the engine. So put a garden hose on there, let it run for a minute or two. It just replaces the salt water with clean tap water. As an aside, it's winter time now. An outboard drains via gravity, so you don't have to worry about freezing. The water that's in this after running it will simply run out. This is a brand new engine, so it's got a little plastic bag over the carb intake. Yours won't have that because we've removed it. But under the hood, we've got a dipstick here in yellow, and our oil filler happens to be back here on this model. And there's a decal right there telling you what's in it and the quantity. Again, we've PDI'd the motor for you, so it's ready to go. A very important thing when you are going to let the engine sit for a couple of months unused is you always want to drain the carburetor. On this particular model, here's our carburetor right here. It's got an 8mm hex head screw down here. So what you need to do is reach in there with an 8mm, just crack that screw, maybe a tablespoon and a half of of gas in there. So if you're on a nice clean driveway, just put a paper towel in there to absorb. So crack the screw, sit and wait 20 seconds till it stops dripping, and then snug the screw back up, and then it's okay to put it into winter storage. To store it, the engine can sit vertically, it can sit on the back side here, you see the square surface, or it can lay on the tiller handle side down. What you don't want to do is lay it on this curved side, or you don't want to lay it on the front. If you do that, it can leak oil, which you don't ruin the engine, but you can make a mess, and you've inconvenienced yourself. That's about it. We're going to make another video that progresses up the horsepower range, and so stand by, we'll get that to you shortly. Thanks for watching.